We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm Scholar Jeff. Alongside me is Scholar Tarek.
Hello, people of the internet.
And alongside, back with us again, is fresh from the Crusades, Scholar Brian. How are you, sir?
I'm back in town and not feeling too happy about it, to be completely honest.
Why? That your expedition to the land of flowers is over?
Because I can't feel my face.
Oh my god! What's wrong with your face?
I'll tell you what's wrong with your face. You missed 2 crazy weeks of wrestling news. That's what you missed.
It's very true.
An angry talk.
And I would have had a lot to say last week.
Yeah, you just had to go enjoy yourself, quote unquote, in Florida, in Disneyland, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, it's better than watching the crap that you guys had to put up with last week.
And then the NXT pay-per-view showed up, and
I was home. And I was home. And it was glorious.
And my subscription got canceled, so I didn't have to watch it. So now I have to renew my subscription and watch the damn thing.
Oh, and watch the damn thing you shall.
Oh, I definitely will.
But yeah, we'll get into all that later on in the NXT report. But for right now, let's kick things off with the way we always like to kick things off on this show, with a little bit of backstage news. Now, this one was really weird, at least this week, because not only a matter of hours right after we finished taping last week's episode, CM Punk announced that he has officially signed with UFC. And he's actually going to be competing MMA in the Octagon. What the hell is going on?
Okay, first of all, this is a great move for UFC. Okay, because it's a win-win. Whether CM Punk gets annihilated in his first match or whether he wins in his first fight, every wrestling fan is going to buy this UFC pay-per-view that CM Punk is going to fight at, because there are either two types of wrestling fan that are going to watch this. They either want to see CM Punk get his ass kicked for the way he went out, like our good buddy Todd McCormick and Charlie Marone, or they're going to want to see if CM Punk can actually pull this off. And to tell you the truth, with the training he has from the Gracie family, okay, and the fact that everybody wants to train him, he's gonna have time to get himself ready, get himself prepared. And I like when he did the interview and was like, I have a specific time period. I have like 3 or 4 years in me. I'm old, but I would be upset with myself if I didn't at least try. So I mean, like, that's all well and good. I respect that. It's one of those things, like, you can't really predict what's gonna happen, because I've never seen him actually fight. You know he can take punishment, because he and Brock Lesnar went mano a mano and were actually smashing each other in the face at SummerSlam last year. So you know he can take some punishment, but the first time someone grabs him by the head, brings him down, and gets a knee to the face, that's when we'll know if he can hang.
True. But then again, one of our other friends brought this up, the point where you don't just, he's got a pretty good working relationship with the Gracie family. One of our other friends brought this up. You don't just go and train with all the different members of the Gracie family just for a workout. This is something that you're passionate about and you want to actually get some working knowledge in. So it's not like he's going in cold. Sure, he may be underprepared compared to some of the other guys on the UFC roster, certainly. Even Punk would admit that. But still, it seems like his attitude is certainly in the right place for growth and development. And again, like Dana White himself said, they're not going to serve him up to the lions like they did with Brock Lesnar. They're going to throw him in the ring with the octagon rather, with someone with a similar record. Which, granted, I don't want him to look foolish still, of course, But still, at least it seems like everyone involved is going about this in the right way.
I agree on that one, actually. Yeah, everybody except the people who, in Brian's term, wants to see him getting his ass kicked. Literally, the first couple of things that I saw in response to it is like memes of CM Punk. He's like, he leaves the WWE because of all his injuries, and he joins the UFC, one of the most dangerous sports.
I gotta admit, the one that I saw with Ryback quits WWE, joins UFC, and the look of
Punk's face
on Punk's face with just the curse underneath it. That was glorious. But this has been in the, let's face it, okay, this has been in the works since his actual contract ended. They've been talking to each other, and he's been training up ever since then. It's kind of obvious. And they're saying his first fight's going to be in like April of 2015, and there's a good chance that it's going to sell more than the first Brock Lesnar pay-per-view because CM Punk still has the goodwill of most wrestling fans. Okay, you got the few who don't really like him, but they're still gonna pay for the show to see him get his ass kicked or whatever. So it's like this is the best of both worlds. CM Punk gets a chance to do something that he's always wanted to do. You know this. He's always been showing up at the UFC events, friends with Chael Sonnen. Okay, and that's another thing. That's another thing. Long. You don't even need to. I don't even need to see the fights. It's gonna be the build-up because CM Punk is friends with Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen was all about the build-up, and CM Punk knows how to cut good promo.
Oh yes,
building up to a match or a fight or whatever you want to call what they do over at UFC. So
fights.
It's so. I'm looking forward to it, and it makes the most. It makes a lot of sense because he's wanted to do it for a long time. He's getting the opportunity. He's only got like 3 or 4 years in him, so he's not going in straight for a title. Brock Lesnar's a freak of nature. No one will be able to. They won't be able to take a guy from the WWE or any pro wrestling event and throw him to the lions like they did with Brock Lesnar ever again.
Yeah,
Brock Lesnar's a freak of nature. He's an animal, and no one is gonna throw CM Punk up against the best in the business right away. It's a smart play, and if he can't beat a guy with the same or less experience than him, then we know that this was a failed experiment. But he's still got the opportunity. He took it, and he's being pretty humble about it. So,
and to all the people who are just, like I was saying, you left WWE because of your injuries and joining UFC, the most dangerous sport. Well, the difference between WWE and UFC is, with WWE, you work like every day during the week most of the time. At least 5 days a week. With UFC, you have time to heal and prepare for your next fight. So, yeah, he may get his ass kicked. He may not get his ass kicked. But no matter what he does, he will have time to heal up and prepare for the fights instead of just going in the next night, fighting the next guy, beat up, bruised, and all that. So, give the guy a chance. Will he do bad? Probably. But it doesn't say, like what Brian said, he didn't, at least he tried. He wanted to do this, let him try.
True, very true. Again, we also still have another 6 months of preparation on Punk's part to see where he's at, and then who knows, maybe we might reevaluate and maybe take another month or two to sharpen up his skills. Who knows? We'll see. This is really a time will tell type of thing.
Oh, and Brian, before we move on to the next topic, actually, this is to both of you. We've seen CM Punk fight. Remember, he fought that fan that got pushed into him in that one wrestling show.
A punch.
Yeah, he threw a punch. Yeah, we saw him fight. We know how how capable he is.
We saw him be able to throw a punch, but can he take a punch?
CM Punk for U.S. middleweight champion. You're here first. Okay, moving on.
I won't go that far. That's it.
All right, moving on.
Let's see how it goes.
Speaking of champions, you know who is a champion again?
I don't know.
Alberto Del Rio!
You damn right. Or specifically, Alberto El Patron. That's when he left WWE, apparently went back down to Mexico.
Yeah.
Went down to AAA.
Yeah.
While he was down there, he won their world title.
Good for him.
You know, no big deal.
Yeah.
And then apparently, in 2015, he's going to Ring of Honor at their 15th anniversary show in Las Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's the whole thing. In Mexico, they don't really care about character. They just want to see good wrestling. And say what you want about Del Rio. In the WWE, there was no denying that he wrestled well.
I'm just going to go on record as saying that I always felt like Alberto Del Rio, when he was in WWE, was stifled like so many other people, and it was just, he was only given so much of a shot, he was only given so much of a spot, and there was, again, if the brass doesn't like you, the brass doesn't like you. There's only so much you can do. And again, when we all collectively got really, really bored with Alberto Del Rio, I'm pretty much convinced at this point that it's not all Del Rio's fault. He's trying to be the best professional he can, and
because let's face it, that first year when he was doing, but you already knew that.
He was dynamite.
That was great stuff, and that's the reason why I called him to be that Royal Rumble winner and do the thing. But then he got the title, and then he got the title, and they took away the character, just made him a cookie cutter heel, and sucked the life right out of him, and it showed. And it was just, for the rest of his time in the WWE, he was a great wrestler, but he was just so boring.
And that was the problem. Pushing him to that main spot, that Royal Rumble win, that give him the world title. I feel he was given all that way too soon for us to really... Yes, we were liking this, but you already knew that. He was an interesting character. And he was good in the ring. He was, I guess, fun. I guess best way to put it. Fun way. That's the only way I could put it. He was fun to watch just because he was such a typical, but you already knew that.
He was a really great smug heel.
And then
he had a
the
super
problem was
punchable
they gave him the title, okay, and if they let him keep
the character,
that smug heel character, I think it would have made money. But they took it away from him, just made him the cookie cutter, cheat your way to victory, not even say the catchphrase anymore, and just be a cookie cutter heel, and nobody cared anymore. We certainly didn't. We got bored within like the first month of that title reign.
True enough.
First title reign, because they took away the character that we did enjoy, and just for the next 3 years after that, we're like, what the hell are you doing with this guy?
Yeah, why do they keep giving him the title? And
because they were spinning their wheels. They were out of ideas, and they wonder why none of the fans got invested.
The perfect example, in my opinion, of Alberto Del Rio is that picture that was taken a long time ago, a couple years ago, when Del Rio was champion, and he was having a rivalry against Christian. And they had the title match at the pay-per-view, and you just see me smiling, looking the other way of the TV. I was not even paying attention. I just had a drink in my hand, and I was just like, yeah, I really don't care about this at all.
They took a good talent, and they just refused to do anything with him.
So it's nice to see. So it's nice to see that he's having success in his other ventures in Mexico, where he probably should have stayed, honestly, because the WWE just stifled him. And going to Ring of Honor, that's probably the best place for him to be if he's going to be in the United States.
I think so,
wrestling,
too.
Because ROH, they don't really care about the character. They just want good wrestling. And Alberto Del Rio will give you good wrestling.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially since they also announced AJ Styles for the same show. It's completely fresh off his run in New Japan with the Bullet Club. And I feel that's a whole.
Who's another guy? Who's another guy who doesn't really have a good character, doesn't do good promos or all that, but put him in the ring, holy crap!
Unless he messes up his finishing move and almost kill people. Yeah.
But again, that is that's for another episode. We got too much to talk about tonight. And one little bit of backstage news that I personally wanted to cover. Have I ever talked to either of you guys about Act Yasukawa?
No.
Okay, basically, she is awesome. She is a female wrestler from Japan. She is tremendous. Her gimmick is basically, how do I put this? She's basically a drunken samurai pirate chick, and she is completely awesome. She just recently came back from injury, and she used to be legitimately blind in one eye, so whenever she used to come back to the ring, she also used to come to the ring wearing an eye patch.
Nice. Drinking
rum and just spewing it into the crowd's faces.
Oh, yes, rum! Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, if she ever shows up in Shimmer in the States, I'm going to drag you all to that so you can revel in the glory that is Act.
I'll believe you. Quite a build-up.
Oh yeah, I love Act. She's one of the ladies I super mark for.
Mark?
I am a mark. I'm an Act mark. I don't care who knows it.
Hey, you can be a mark for whatever you want, for whoever you want. And I can't wait to... You got to show me video clips, because I'm intrigued now.
I will show you video clips after we finish taping.
Awesome.
But for right now, there is way too much to talk about. Speaking of stuff that we're marking out for, let's move on to a little something I like to call the NXT report. And if you're following NXT at all, at the time of this recording, just last night, we got what I can say without a hint of hyperbole, easily one of the greatest pay-per-views we have seen from WWE all year.
I can't even... See, I'm not even going to say that, because it's not a WWE pay-per-view, it's NXT, so I'm not even going to...
owned by WWE.
But I'm not going to put it up there with WWE pay-per-views, but I will say, this is the best. This is the best show, wrestling show, beginning to end, that I have seen this year.
Easily. So let's go right into it. We got a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. First match, the debut of Kevin Owens beating CJ Parker. CJ Parker, yeah.
There you go.
He gets a palm strike to the nose, okay, within like a minute
Busts him
of
up.
the match. Busts him up, wide open. So the first thing you see in a highlight package for Kevin Owens is exactly what should be seen. His face covered in blood while beating the crap out of this Parker guy.
Seriously. He gets busted open by CJ Parker. He just touches his face, looks at his hand covered in blood, looks at CJ Parker. He's like, "You gonna die." And he goes
into Kill Owens kill mode. And that's it.
And then it was just game over from there.
I gotta renew my subscription. I really gotta watch this event.
If for one other month just to see this is glorious. And this is only the first match, the debut of Kevin Owens. From there we go on to the Lucha Dragons versus the Vaudevillains for the tag titles. Lucha Dragons go over again. It's what you expect from NXT, but again, it's so high quality that even their mundane is super, super good.
See, this is what they should have done with the original Sin Cara and just kept them in NXT before putting them on the main roster.
Yeah, well, there wasn't much of an established NXT during
that was point. Back when NXT was kind of,
Well, still better than just throwing him in the roster having no idea what's going on.
Yeah. It's true, but then he would have been tearing knee ligaments in NXT, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. He was an injury-prone mess, whether he was in the WWE or not.
Yeah.
So that's
true.
Ultimate reality.
Hindsight's always 20/20. Then again, we move on to Baron Corbin match. Squash-a-room.
Can you guess what happened in this match?
30-second squash. Baron Corbin squashes some guy and then stares down Bull Dempsey. The feud goes on. Nothing really happened.
The usual.
Moving on.
Life goes on.
Okay, next up. We were supposed to get a tag match between the Ascension and Hideo Itami and Finn Balor.
Finn Balor and Hideo Kojima!
Yeah, we did not get this match. Instead, we got the Ascension versus Hideo Itami in a scorpion costume and some sort of ancient Lovecraftian horror that would make Todd McFarlane pee his pants.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome. It was such a great entrance. So good.
Finn Balor coming out in the full makeup like we all wanted him to.
Right call.
Oh man!
Right
I
call.
find it good. I find it good that they're only bringing out the full body paint for like the big shows.
Which is the way it should be done.
You don't have to do it
every time. Yeah.
Every time because then it's awesome overload and it becomes not so awesome.
But
give us small portions of the great meal.
And again, this wasn't just a squash. Well, hey, food will exist. This wasn't just a squash here. This was a good back and forth match, and it was competitive. It showed off what all these guys could do. No one looked really weak, and Balor and Tommy went over, and it was a phenomenal match, and that's it. I'm still marking out just thinking about it.
I could just see your hands shaking right now. Oh my God, it was so good.
And you know what? It gets even better.
It gets even
better because you know what we get?
What do we get next?
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, Roman Reigns.
And the show comes to a grinding halt.
And he delivers the most canned, stupid promo. I don't even care.
Superstar of the year, even though the only memorable thing that he did this year was beat Kane's record in the Royal Rumble.
People are stupid. I'm not sure if you realize that, but people can be really, really dumb.
And it's fun how they say that Roman Reigns wins Superstar of the Year, and then this is the year that they come out and say that this was 100% voted for.
Lies. I don't believe every bit of fan participation in these WWE shows.
Seriously, just go back. Compared to some of the best promos you've heard this year, go back and listen to this promo. You can literally hear him reading his lines off of the cue cards.
You can see it. You don't even have to hear him. You can see it.
His acceptance speech was just horrible.
The only person,
everything that comes out of his mouth.
The only person in that grouping, who really deserved Superstar of the Year, in my opinion, just based on the fact that he was there the entire year, Seth Rollins.
You're not wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, I can't in good conscience give it to Daniel Bryan. I can't, because he wrestled for 4 months out of the year. I can't in good conscience give it to him, and those two were the only ones who really had a shot.
It's like you can't give it to Brock Lesnar, even though he had the 2 most memorable matches of the year.
You could give it to
He's
John
a part-timer!
You could give it to John Cena, but that's out of control, dude.
Then again, this is a whole other conversation for a whole other time. We all know that Slammies have limited worth just because of what they are. But
we'll just say We'll just say this as a group: Roman Reigns is Superstar of the Year.
Ha!
Bullshit.
No.
Ha! That is so funny.
In the meantime, we run to what I call my flavor of brain bleach.
Oh dear.
What? What? Oh dear.
Brain bleach.
What do you think I'm talking about?
Sasha Banks.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Charlotte versus Sasha Banks for the NXT Divas Championship.
When you say brain bleach,
that's kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, I kind of picture it as a bad thing because bleach is not a very good thing to have on your brain. Yeah.
Well, hey, it helps clean your whites.
It helps clean your whites, but it'll white out the memories of your brain.
Okay, incorrect.
Yes, we're attacking you on this one.
Anyway, Anyway, this...
Divas in the WWE, take note.
Yeah.
This is how you do a pay-per-view title match.
Seriously, when was the last time you heard a women's wrestling match of any promotion get a "This is wrestling" chant? When was the last time? Seriously.
I don't know. I haven't really...
Trish and Lita.
Because, I haven't watched...
They didn't even get a "This is wrestling" chant. This is just like maybe you got "This was awesome." I don't even remember. But even that didn't get a "This is wrestling" chant.
I don't know. I didn't even hear this on this event, so I don't even know the last time I heard it on.
In all seriousness, again, we like to joke on this show about me lusting after Sasha Banks.
Yes.
And again, she's hot and all, and,
yes.
and she is.
Yes.
But she's also a really, really talented wrestler, and so is Charlotte. And these two women brought it. It showed us what women's wrestling can and should and could be. And it was absolutely phenomenal, even though,
unless you get thrown onto Raw and lose to Natalya.
Yeah,
in a very sloppy match, actually.
Yeah, you can tell who is booking that Raw. Vince McMahon was like, "Oh, you gotta keep the Raw Divas looking strong, damn it, achoo.
Gotta keep the Total Divas looking good, unless it's Natalya. But she's the weak link, but she still wins."
Yeah. Even though Sasha Banks lost and Charlotte retained her title, this was an incredible back and forth match. These women brought out moves I've never, ever seen before. Mostly due to Sasha Banks' brilliance and charm, but still, it was, again, if you like wrestling, not even if you like women's wrestling, if you like wrestling, period, this is a match that you do not want to miss. This is a thing of absolute beauty, and so is Sasha Banks.
And both of these two are going to be up in the WWE really soon, and I don't know if I don't know if I want them to go up to the WWE. I want them to stay in NXT and keep having these good matches. Because once they get up to the WWE, I don't know, man.
Well, you know what? Again, I'm just going to do this as a very brief aside, because again, this could be a whole nother topic for a whole other show, and we just don't have the time for it right now. But you know what? I think there's a regime change happening right now in WWE, which led to CM Punk's appraisal of, the WWE is so bipolar, it's so schizophrenic. That's because you're pitting Triple H's ideology against Vince McMahon's, and there's no focus. Again, that's just more of a hypothesis right now, which we can address in future episodes. But for right now, let's move right on to the main event of the NXT pay-per-view. Sami Zayn going over Adrian Neville for the NXT Championship.
Match of the year.
Very much so. At this point, I was just like, okay, I saw so much. I saw so many great matches. What else can they show me? There couldn't possibly be anything else that could possibly top any of this. And it's like almost like Sami Zayn just tapped me on the shoulder. It's like, hey, yeah, guess what? I still have more. And you know what? He did have more. He showed me, oh man, Neville and Sami Zayn just, you know what?
Words can't express what this fool's
seriously, I don't have the words. If you like wrestling in any capacity at all, and you have the WWE Network, even if you don't have the WWE Network, you need to watch this match right now. Seriously, put this episode on pause, put this YouTube on pause, and just go to your network or Roku or whatever you got, and just watch the WWE Network and watch this pay-per-view or watch this match and just get to it. Go ahead, we'll wait.
All right, you're back.
And minute over.
Is that awesome or what? Yeah, wrestling. This is why we do what we do, and this is why we love it. And you know what? Sami Zayn deserved this, and the match itself was phenomenal. The ending.
But the best part of the show, we still haven't talked about it yet.
What's that?
What happened after the match was over?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we got the big celebration, the big face celebration.
Kevin Owens comes out and hugs the crap
He's the first person to hug Sami Zayn. It's an incredibly touching moment. Everyone gets emotional. the wrestlers get emotional. You get emotional because if
for
you're watching
people,
NXT, you've heard about the history between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
For people who aren't in the know, the ROH feud of the year for many years was El Generico versus Kevin Steen, also known as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So, when Kevin Owens is the first one to come out and hug the crap out of Sami Zayn, you're like, oh, they're back on good terms. This is a happy day.
It's like a Benoit Eddie thing at WrestleMania 20. It's just like a beautiful, touching moment. It's
until
like
Sami Zayn tries to leave.
It's like the two engines that could really came together. They made it to the big time. They made it. Their dreams have come true. It's so beautiful.
And then Sami Zayn tries to leave.
No, wait. Not even that. The WWE NXT logo shows up at the bottom of the screen. Copyright WWE, all rights reserved. Because, like, okay, it's the end of the show. Great. The logo fades away. You think the show's about to end. And then Kevin Owens just shoves Sami Zayn. Everyone's just like, what? And then Kevin Owens picks him up again. Like, okay, maybe he tripped. Maybe he made a boo-boo. Maybe something happened. And then he picks him up. Lifts him up. He does an apron powerbomb. We're talking about a full-on Kevin Owens heel turn. The next feud for the next pay-per-view in the next few months is on Owens versus Zayn. Do it!
NXT title, and I am in completely.
And you should have seen the death glare that Regal gave Owens as he was leaving. It's just like,
and let's face it.
What did you do?
And let's face it. Does Owens give a crap?
No.
No. Does Kevin Owens ever give a crap about what he does ever?
Kevin Owens has two settings: stop and kill.
Yes. And he's on kill mode with Sami Zayn, and I'm gonna love every minute of it.
Oh, this show, man. This show is so
good. The last 45 minutes...
45 minutes?
The last 45...
Yeah, 45 minutes.
The last 45 minutes
went that long.
And also because you have to add that Divas title match. The last 45 minutes to an hour of this pay-per-view is some of the greatest stuff you'll ever see this year.
And all of this stuff is condensed into 2 hours. The way it used to be.
You know what I'm going to do after I get home tonight? I'm going to renew my subscription.
You're damn right you are.
I'm going to go watch NXT TakeOver. Yeah. I'm going to enjoy watching it. I'm going to mark out just like how you two guys are marking out because I feel so left out with this when we're talking about this.
And you know what? Immediately after the show was over, Triple H posted something on Twitter. It's like, "Hey, can somebody help me out? I'm missing an entire box of brass rings."
And that's how you make a joke out of whatever Vince McMahon said last week.
Again, maybe
that's how you do it.
For a fact that we're going to be talking about this in a future episode. But stuff like this makes me think that we're seeing a middle of a severe regime change, or even a severe regime upheaval.
This was a show where even the filler was good. Even that
there was no filler.
Even that 30 seconds of Baron Corbin was exactly what it was supposed to be, and it didn't bring down the show. So this was a perfect show all around. And I highly recommend to everybody listening to us right now that you stop for 2 hours, go to whatever device you watch the WWE Network on, and watch TakeOver, because if you don't, you're really missing out.
Yeah, this, again, I could gush about this all day. I'm sure you guys could too. But again, there's really no words that we could say that could do it justice. This is a 5 out of 5 goat face pay-per-view all around. This is why you buy the WWE Network. Period. Full stop. The end. Go home. Just watch it if you haven't already. Pause the video right now. Go home. Watch it. Boom. Okay, come back. Rejoin
Bring
us.
the goats out of the pen because we're going to need all of them for this pay-per-view.
But then again, we already know that. Let's talk about what we've got coming this Sunday. What?
Let's not and say we did.
Well, let's face it, okay?
Let's at least address it.
Let's face it, TLC
S.
is TLCS. Whether you
Tickles.
you can talk all the crap about
Tillix.
it you want. It's always a good show because you can't. Ladder matches and TLC matches are pretty much always good, and chairs and stairs we just have to sit, grin, and bear it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is
It's gotta be a good show, but nothing on the level of what we just watched last night.
Then again, a lot of things usually aren't. But to be fair, they're from TLC and Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and
Tillix.
Stairs.
Tillix.
From Tillix, to be fair, there is still something we can enjoy. Again, every little single bit of value we can get at a WWE Network at this point, that's good stuff. And I think there's a lot to enjoy here. Or at least a lot that can be enjoyed.
I've made it clear last week's episode and even just online, I'm only looking forward to only 2 matches from this pay-per-view. Everything else is really just there for me.
Yeah, true. And again, this isn't one of their major pay-per-views, so I'm just used to seeing that. But again,
I'm going in with optimism as to how good the wrestling will be, even though I'm pessimistic about who's actually going to win these matches.
For me, you know what? That's fair. That's fair.
For me, you guys know how I like watching these shows. As much as I love the wrestling, I also love the story. I love the wrestling more. I like wrestling with a story. All of these matches, well, except maybe 1 or 2, were just thrown together. Even if they had story, it was very little for me to actually be invested. And I talked about this with you last week, Fool, which is my problem with this event and with my problem with the past couple of Raws.
Well, again,
hopefully this will just be like, okay, we're just taking a break storyline-wise and just giving us a match as we prepare for the road to WrestleMania.
This show isn't going to be one that's going to piss me off, but I think it's going to be one where at times I'm not really paying attention to what's going on because I'm going to be hanging out with friends. Mm-hmm. It's not It's not going to be one of those ones where you're transfixed on the screen like I was at Survivor Series.
True enough, and again, that's fair. But again, at this point, with this kind of episode, we're here to predict. We're here to cast our lots and see who's going to win. So let's just jump right in. With the kickoff match, we've got the New Day versus Dashing Gold. Who do you got? Personally, I like the New Day.
I'm gonna go with the New Day because they just debuted, and you can't. Well, it's the WWE, so they could, but I'm like, in order to get this group over, you can't have them lose their first pay-per-view match, whether it's on the kickoff show or not. So I'm going to go the New Day pulls one out against Dashingly Gold.
I'm going to choose the New Day as well over Dashingly Gold, just because the New Day has been completely all over Dashingly Gold the past couple of weeks. And when it comes to the New Day, I was really looking forward to them being the heel stable that they were building up when they first started, as just the unhappy, could possibly be a new Nation of Domination, but they come back as faces. And
another thing that shows you that Vince McMahon doesn't really know what he's doing.
It actually had potential because they had, wow, why am I blanking out on his name?
Kofi.
No, not Kofi. No.
Xavier Woods.
Xavier Woods. I don't know why I was blanking out on Xavier. I love that you chose the other two that are obviously we know who their names are. Thank you, Brian.
I'm going to bite my tongue right now.
I liked what Xavier Woods was being the mouthpiece to a potential, like, with Kofi and Big E as the tag team. It was a very interesting idea, got me intrigued, but now they're just the New Day. Pretty much just another version of the Usos. It's basically Usos versus New Day.
Bring in R-Truth and you can have a dance with it too.
Well, yeah, or you could bring in Titus O'Neil because, you know, he shows up. Because, you know.
Actually, it's more.
There you go.
Because, you know, that since this whole thing with Heath Slater is happening.
Slater Gator!
Is possibly no more. And all they have for Titus is him showing up to potential Diva of the Year. Showing up in a nice tux.
Really weird.
It was very, very random, and I actually kind of like. I want Titus O'Neil to start becoming another Ron Simmons, just showing up at random backstage and just with a big goofy smile. That's it. Because it's just like, you know what? It gives him something to do, and he'll probably get a nice cheap pop from it.
Well, you know what? We're sort of digressing here. Let's keep on moving on. We've got, for the U.S. title, Rusev versus Jack Swagger. Gee, I wonder who's going to win.
Jack Swagger! No, Rusev.
No, sit down. Sit down.
Sit down, open your beer.
Open my beer, and I say with a straight face, Rusev's got to beat the crap out of Jack Swagger.
Yeah, this is just... If anyone's going to take Rusev down, it's not going to be Jack Swagger. This is
just a holdover because it was supposed to be Sheamus. But Sheamus went and injured himself, so they needed a placement holder, and who better than Jack Swagger?
And then because the mouthpiece of that group, Zeb Coulter, gets actually injured too, and he's off TV, so you're just having a unstable, quote, Jack Swagger coming in and trying to take out Rusev. Yeah, you guys know how I felt about the first time these two guys have gone at it. Give me my mustache.
Yeah. You ripped all this hair off my face. Ow.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. What makes the WWE think I'm going to be intrigued this time?
I actually liked the first feud. Okay, because it made sense at the time.
It did make sense, but it was just as predictable as it is now.
Okay, but coming back to it, I get why. They needed someone who it makes sense to go after Rusev while Sheamus is out. So bring in Jack Swagger again. We all know that he's not gonna win. Okay, but they did not count on Zeb Coulter hurting himself too. So it's one of those. I get where they're coming from. Will it be good? Probably not. But we just have to grin and bear it. We have to grin and bear it for a month. So it just happens. Rusev retains, and we move on with our lives.
Here's what I want to see. I want to see WWE give a big middle finger to the fans and be like, have the first person to beat Rusev be non-American, not fighting for America, just fighting him, and then having him beat for the U.S. title.
Have Santino Marella.
Hey, it makes as much sense as anything else at this
point. But you can't do that because he injured himself again.
Well, so. I'm gonna be a complete idiot fanboy here, and I want to see Cesaro actually win, not because of America, but just because it's Cesaro.
Sorry, no.
Sure, why not? We're going crazy.
Like I said, it's just
I'm gonna be the
fanboy.
Here comes my douche. Here comes my douche. No. No.
Well, here's
Stop
my
talking.
Your douche is weak.
No.
Yeah, you have a very weak douche argument because I already made it clear it's just a fanboy speculation thing. So you turning down
your
just
fanboy
speculation
is weak as well.
Okay.
So that's it.
I even said that. It was a fan speculation.
We're all weak tonight. That's it.
All right.
It's from a very weak pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on, or else we're going to dwell on this all day. We got, for the tag titles, Miz and Mizdow versus the Usos. Who do you got?
Miz and Mizdow.
I want Miz and Mizdow.
Miz and Mizdow. Okay, we got this.
Get the Usos. Stop giving the Usos title shots. It's old.
They're the John Cena of the tag division right now. It's to be expected, but again, Miz and Mizdow need to hang on to the titles for a little while longer before anything else different
They
happens.
need to hold on to them till the February pay-per-view so they can start building up for their WrestleMania match against each other.
Yes.
Ba-boom.
That's exactly it.
All right. So we got that settled. We know our predictions. Let's talk about something a little bit different. Let's talk about the ladder match for the IC title. Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler.
One of the matches I'm looking forward to the most.
Easily a match in a night contender.
This is a hard one for me.
Yeah, this is tough, but I think that Harper needs to retain to keep on looking strong. I don't think he can afford to lose it just yet, but even then, that thought is secondary to what both of these guys can do in a ladder match for the IC title.
On Raw, I'm holding a blank on what happened. Who took out who? Did Harper take out Ziggler in that little free-for-all, or did Ziggler take out Harper?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
Let me put it this way. The heels took the show at the end. The heels took the show.
That's why I'm saying Ziggler. Ziggler gets the Intercontinental title back.
This is one of the toughest... Actually, I think this is the toughest match for me.
Here's how I think, okay?
Yep.
You do not have Ziggler last the way he did in the Survivor Series match and then have him lose at the next pay-per-view. In my mind, that's what I would be like if I was in creative. So that's why I'm going, it's going to be a great match. Okay, but I think Dolph Ziggler pulls it out and gets the Intercontinental title back.
See, I am 150% with you, Brian. And there's the other side of that coin where I don't want Luke Harper just to be a transitional champion. Because that's all he'll be if he loses. But I'm going to still predict that Dolph Ziggler is going to win because exactly what you said. He was the only surviving member of Team Cena to take down the Authority. He took down 4 guys. They're saying 3, but it's Kane, Rusev, Harper, and Rollins. 4 guys.
Yeah, but, well, technically Rusev took out himself, but he was trying to get Ziggler at the time, so it counts.
And Ziggler moved. So, yeah, exactly. It counts. And I guess with a ladder match, it would make sense, like, for a good way for Harper to drop it instead of just a clean match win.
It's just you just have Dolph Ziggler look that strong at one pay-per-view
and then have him lose
at the next pay-per-view.
Exactly. So I'm going to choose Dolph Ziggler as well.
I'm a little surprised by that. Like, again, your arguments make sense, but still, I still have some lingering doubt that makes me think that they would totally just drop the title from Luke Harper like that.
Would I be upset if Luke Harper retained? No. But I just don't think it's good writing to have Dolph Ziggler look that strong and then just lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair.
Pretty much, like, really look at it, both guys deserve a win. If you look at both sides of the coin, they both deserve to win.
Yeah.
But
if Luke
Ziggler
Harper
had the bigger...
If Luke Harper wins, there needs to be major shenanigans.
Exactly.
Major shenanigans.
Well, this is the ladder match. Who says there won't be?
But I'm still saying Ziggler pulls it out because it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So we got 2 Ziggler, 1 Harper for this match. Again, that's fair.
I still love Harper.
Yeah. Again, this is going to be a big seller for me as far as excitement for this match. It's all fair. We'll see how it goes. Okay, next match we've got for the Divas Championship: Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee. Who do you got?
Thank you,
Nikki
Mr.
Bella.
Thank you, Mr. Plinkett. AJ Bella versus AJ Bella.
AJ Bella versus Nikki Lee.
Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee.
Whoever's got the name of Nikki is pulling this one out.
The Bella twin wins.
It's obvious, and once again. Okay, there's the talks that AJ Lee's gonna leave after the pay-per-view, but okay, I think they actually have a match this time, and someone comes out and screws AJ Lee. Nikki Bella doesn't retain clean, but Nikki Bella retains.
Seconded.
Yeah, unfortunately,
I don't want to.
I can see it happening way too easily. Maybe some interference from Brie. Or some other heel.
Well, hell, after the whole Survivor Series and after what AJ said the next night, I said, much to my hate, I was actually intrigued on this feud. They didn't do anything. They did jack the next couple of weeks. You lost me. You had that little bit of hope of me actually getting intrigued, and you just grabbed it, threw it on the ground, took a piss on it, stomped it out, and scraped it at the bottom of your shoes. That's what happened. That was my interest in this feud. I honestly don't care anymore. I've given up.
But as far as predictions,
I'm picking Nikki Bella.
Yeah,
Nikki Bella. Yeah. It should be across the board. This one's pretty obvious.
Because she's one of the heads of Total Divas.
So she's one of the total divas. Evil Bella Boobs.
Evil Bella Boobs for the victory.
And AJ Lee is married to CM Punk.
I really don't think that has... That might have had something to do with how she lost at Survivor Series. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's just the way that the story was planned out.
You know, whatever the case, I think we all have our predictions. We all know what we're going to see here.
Yeah, garbage.
You know what I don't know what we're going to see? What we're going to see in the stairs match between Eric Rowan and the Big Show.
You know, I might be the only one who thinks this. Okay, but I like Eric Rowan. I like what they're doing with him. I like what they're doing with him. I like that he didn't get left out in the shuffle. And I like that the crowd is actually really into Eric Rowan.
Yeah,
here's a question.
Him so well.
Here's a question. Do you like that they're trying to call him Big Red?
No.
Exactly.
I think that you should just stick with Eric Rowan. Just stick with it.
I'm fine with the nickname if they pull it off in the right way and they don't try and shove it down everyone's throats like they were trying to do, or at least the way it seemed maybe a couple weeks ago.
They're going to do it. They're going to force it.
But I'm going to say that Eric Rowan wins.
For me, I want to see Eric Rowan dominate the Big Show. That's how I want to see this.
That would actually be like...
That would
cement Eric Rowan in the mind. Just like, he's not just a simpleton. Or whatever.
And you know what? Just because they renamed the title of the pay-per-view to Tables, Ladders, Chairs, and Stairs, just because of this one match, that gives me hope that Eric Rowan will go over and they'll actually have him win and look strong against the Big Show on Sunday.
Oh yeah, he's definitely winning. Like I said, I want him to dominate this match.
I want him to look like he did when he ended Raw, and it was him standing tall, and Cena just being like, "Yo,
exactly,
cool." That was telling. When you have Eric Rowan ending Raw standing tall, instead of John Cena or any of the other guys, it's Eric Rowan coming in and just throwing stairs at everybody.
Yeah, seriously. Who would have thought that out of everyone in the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan would be the big major face coming out of that?
Actually, none of us.
None of us. And guess what? It's actually happening.
It's actually happening, and it's actually, minus the whole Big Red forcing down our throats, it's actually working.
Well, you know what? Nothing's perfect.
And the fact that like that one spot when on that one Raw where you said Eric Rowan stood on top, he had the stairs thrown on his head. You saw the bulge later when he came out. It was purple. It was bloody when it first happened. It was sick. And since he's actually gotten so much better in the ring, he really did get so much better.
Yo, that 2 minutes, with 2 or 3 minutes that he was in the Survivor Series match, and he was just throwing kicks everywhere and it was throwing people out of the ring. I was awesome. Like,
yeah, those
when did this?
Bro.
When did? I was like, when? When did this guy come in?
What happened to Eric Rowan? Who's this awesome guy? It's like he was the weak link of the Wyatt family,
and now he's on top. And now he's on top. He's like,
nothing against him. I still, even when he was the weak link, I always had high hopes for him. But I was like, wow,
we're being proven right when we said now that everybody in the Wyatt family is in there for a reason. Everybody can be big one day, and it's true. All 3 of those guys are
making names,
are in the main matches of this show,
and I love it.
And who would have thought 2 months ago that Eric Rowan versus Big Show would have been one of the big stories going into TLC? Who would have thought that? We would have been like that Rubik's Cube playing douche. What is that? Like,
hey, it's. You know what? It's basically the core basic tenet of WWE. You never truly know. And it's the kind of thing that keeps me watching every single week. But you know what? Going on that theme of you never really know, there's one more match behind the two, what could be considered to be the main event. And that is the chairs match between Ryback and Kane.
Do we even have to...
Kane never wins.
Yeah.
Kane never wins.
So,
Ryback is
Ryback,
this.
everyone?
Of course, Ryback.
Kane never wins.
Okay.
The one, it's you were there last week, of course, and that I told you how I felt about this whole Ryback Kane feud, and how I thought it should have gone. I'm just very upset that this is another one that had just little to no build, and the only build that we got was Kane getting upset that Triple H said that he's the new monster of WWE. And they never went anywhere with that, except that night. That could have stemmed to something bigger and something more going on. First, have him destroy corporate Kane, and it pisses Kane off to the point where he brings on the mask. Show that I'm not a force to be reckoned with, but you know what? And then continue on to another match to show who really is a dominant force, and which will put Ryback over in the end. But that's not what's going to happen. This is just another filler match. This is probably going to be their only match that they're going to have together.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I saw potential, and they're not going for it.
Well, this match ceased to mean anything when they eliminated Ryback first at the Survivor Series pay-per-view, and basically saying you did all this build-up for Ryback and he's out first. What's the point? So now Ryback isn't as big of a character as you wanted him to be. Kane loses every match he's in, so it's like you already know what's going to happen in this match, and it's sad because Kane has fallen from where he once was, and Ryback could have been huge, but they squandered it at the pay-per-view. So this match really doesn't mean anything. Yeah, this is just to get these two guys on the pay-per-view, and it's an obvious victory for Ryback.
Which Ryback needs more than Kane.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much agreed then. Ryback takes it all the way?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're down to the last two matches of the night. Either of these, I believe, could be main events. So I'm just going to go in the order that I would like to ideally see these in. So first off, we've got a tables match between Cena and Seth Rollins.
Cena?
Randy Orton's coming back and costing Seth Rollins the match. Here,
that was easy then.
it's gonna be John Cena. Because they want to continue the feud with Randy Orton, who's coming back from after the filming his movie, and I want to actually see a kind of a shenanigan ending, to a point where you actually see Seth Rollins actually wins, but with the ref knocked out, Rollins does put Cena through a table, but the ref doesn't see it. You see Randy Orton comes in
RKO out of nowhere.
RKO out of nowhere, pushes Cena off the table, and puts Seth Rollins' body on it. The referee wakes up and sees Seth Rollins on the broken table. He went through. Match is over. Ding, ding, ding.
Now that you said that,
so much sense.
Now that you said that, I will accept nothing less.
That's why.
That is how you're gonna do it.
See,
book it immediately.
Randy Orton coming out and just doing something is one thing, and then having Cena do the finishing thing is just generic. We don't. It's just wasting our time. We want to see something interesting, and I think that would have been an awesome twist in the match.
So there you go. You got your solution.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I want it to happen, but it's not.
I don't know.
It's not going to happen, but Randy Orton will come out, RKO Seth Rollins, and then John Cena hits the attitude adjustment through a table.
Hey, it's all plausible.
It'll help keep John Cena as the number one contender, but it'll help push Seth Rollins to a bigger main event spot since he beat John Cena. And just have to be the twist ending RKO out of nowhere.
Or we'll say he had John Cena beat, but RKO out of nowhere.
There you go.
See, wouldn't that be an awesome twist if they did that?
I will accept nothing less. Anything less will be a disappointment.
So we got one more match left on the card. We've got Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt in a TLC match. Who do you guys got?
Okay,
Bray Wyatt.
Here's what I thought about this. It's at one thing. You put this how you want the main event to be, right? Mm-hmm. I want this to be the main event because
it makes sense because it's a TLC match.
It's the only
Exactly.
TLC match on the TLC pay-per-view. Having it end like with a ladder match, not a tables match, wouldn't make any sense. Like the tables match takes more credibility than the actual TLC match, the gimmick match that's the pay-per-view is named after. And it's the first match that was announced at the last pay-per-view,
Which is making me think that way, yeah.
But I'm going with Brian on this one. I think Bray Wyatt actually needs another needing win.
I agree with you.
Because last pay-per-view, having him win for disqualification, I think I told you both this, I thought it was the dumbest idea.
I agree with you.
I thought it was a stupid idea. I actually wanted Bray Wyatt to win clean, and then, like, after the match, the whole microphone, I wanted to save you, and then that whole ordeal. But this one, especially with Dean Ambrose taking Bray Wyatt out on the go-home show, following the whole formula, the one on top usually loses. But as much as I think, that's that way it's going to happen, I want Bray Wyatt to win. Dean Ambrose doesn't need this loss won't hurt him.
Right.
Bray
This
Wyatt
loss
needs
won't
this.
hurt him because of what happened after the match at Survivor Series. We know that Dean Ambrose can take Bray Wyatt out.
Bray Wyatt needs the win.
Bray Wyatt needs the win. My question is, does he win it by shenanigans? Someone debuting? Or do
I know what you're hinting at,
He's
and I
not-
really hope it's not going to work.
because I doubt he wins clean.
Oh, we'll have to see.
The one thing, I think I know what you're hinting at. And I don't
What are you hinting at?
I was just saying if they're gonna have like the new Bray Wyatt takes on someone new to save.
I don't want that.
Like this is when the Ascension or any of them.
Yeah, that rumor is
any of them.
I was going to say the Ascension, but the Ascension are already confirmed for the latest round of NXT tapings. So I'm not sure what that means, but I doubt it's going to happen now.
I don't want Bray Wyatt to take someone new. At least not right now. He needs to establish himself as a singles competitor first. And, well, there really can't be any shenanigans. It's a TLC match. The whole match is a shenanigans match. Because you have weapons galore.
Well, I mean, do people come out?
No. I don't think anyone needs to come out.
I believe that if Bray Wyatt is going to win, the way they book the faces, if Bray Wyatt is going to win, someone's going to come out. Whether it's a debut or someone in the thing.
I have my doubts.
I don't think that
Either way,
happen that
either
way.
way, Bray Wyatt wins.
Oh yeah, I think Bray Wyatt wins, but I think he can win clean. I mean, he beat Daniel Bryan clean
I think
at Royal
he could.
Rumble last year.
I think he could win clean, but he proved that he didn't need anybody. But then he went against Cena, and they're booking Dean Ambrose like a crazy Cena at this point. But I love it because it's Dean Ambrose, and he's crazy, and his character actually works for it. So it's been in talks that Bray Wyatt is going to take on new people. And I understand your frustration with it, but it makes sense with the character. And I'm just questioning. I mean, like, it's a TLC match. It's like the perfect venue for people to come out and screw with Dean Ambrose and join Bray Wyatt. So I'm like, if he is gonna take on some new people, it's gonna be in a match like this.
So basically, it all comes down to we all really know.
We all want Bray Wyatt to win. It's just a question of how.
I think he needs it more clean, in this as clean as it can be. I think he needs to win it on his own. Because really, if he has people helping him, it devalues his credibility.
Yeah, I believe he needs to win on his own, but I'm also of the mindset of the WWE writers, which is heels never win clean. So,
but then again, who knows what we're going to see on a pay-per-view?
Unless it's Triple
that can
H.
always
that
can always be changed.
It can always be changed, but track record this year proves that track record this year proves that when heels win, it's via someone new coming in or shenanigans of some sort. So I'm wary of how Bray Wyatt will win this TLC match.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fair. So really, at this point, I think we all agree who we would like to see win, who we think will win. It's just a matter of how. And the only way we're going to be 100% certain of that is to just watch this Sunday. But you know what? We want to know what you think. That's right, the person listening to this video.
People, come on, not just one person. The people listening in.
No, I'm talking to you. Yes, you, right now. Gosh, you're pretty. You need to we want to know what you think.
You just said that to a bunch of dudes.
That's it. Hey, you don't know that. Y'all don't know that. Y'all know me. Mm-hmm.
It's like the New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
You know what? You never know, which is why we want to know your opinion. So, if you got a different opinion from us, if you think we're brilliant, if you think we're completely idiotic, let us know. Post a comment. It really encourages us and helps us out. Or you can also post a comment on our Facebook page at the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Look for us on Facebook. You can also like this video if you like what you hear, and subscribe if you want to hear more.
Also, I want to give a shout out to a couple of guys who have actually been helping us out for the last month or so, giving us shout outs on their YouTube podcast show, the Gold Standard Wrestling Report, with one of my buddies from high school, Rich Loco. Before I met these guys, before I met Scholar Jeff and Scholar Tarek, and I actually we would throw ideas at each other for wrestling and how it could be better and all that. For Rich Loco and his buddy Frankie, they're also a weekly podcast, and you can find them on Facebook at the Gold Standard Wrestling Report. You can find them on Twitter at Gold Standard WR, and you can find them on YouTube at Gold Standard Wrestling Report. They know what they're talking about. They're fellow scholars, if I can say that.
Well, yeah, there's lots of scholars out there. It doesn't mean we're the only three. No way.
They're a good show. They know what they're talking about, so check them out and follow, and all that noise.
Yep. Spread the good word. Spread the good word.
Spread the good word. We're all a community here.
All us wrestling fans unite.
Yes. And in the meantime, even though we're all wrestling fans, we in particular, we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and the rest of you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
Let's get ready for the pay-per-view and watch more NXT.
Yes, let's do that.
I'm going to go renew my subscription.
Boom.
Just thinking about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.